we like the Midwest in that it's steady, it's consistent. We call it, maybe a bit of a boring market. You're not going to see some of the huge swings that you're going to see in some of the more it markets, like your Austin, Scottsdale, places in Florida, and of course those are great markets and people have done really well there. But for us, the Midwest, it's just a bit more predictable. Generally we're going to see 2 to 3% rent growth, and we're not going to see big swings up, but we're also not going to see big swings down.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kessel, and today I'm joined by someone I'm looking forward to chatting with, Michael Margarella, who has been making serious moves, is like a co-founder of Next Play Investments, a private equity company. So excited to have you on the show today, Michael.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I think our listeners are really going to take something away from how you're approaching value-add multifamily properties in the Midwest.
For sure. Yeah, we're excited to dive into it and happy to provide some background about what we do.
Yeah, let's do it. Would love for you to start us off with sharing a little bit more about what you're up to these days.
For sure. So as you mentioned, we mainly target assets in the Midwest. So our focus is on multifamily properties, mainly between 50 and 150 units or so, mainly B, C class value add assets. And so we're doing our best to stay active here, despite some of the economic hiccups that we've been seeing recently. And we try our best to keep our pulse on the market and move ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. What got you started with this business? How did you discover to create it?
Yeah, for sure. So I was, I guess we'll rewind pre-COVID here. I was a high W-2 earner living in New York, and it was right around New Year's, and everybody's making resolutions, of course. And one of the things that was on my mind was just trying to figure out how to better allocate some of my savings, some of my funds, things of that nature. And so I was just scrolling through the podcast app on my phone and just looking for sort of money management type podcasts and just trying to pick up some tips there. And I just happened to stumble across BiggerPockets. And I wasn't necessarily looking for a real estate podcast, but I listened to one episode of BiggerPockets, which was a Burr episode, and it just made so much sense to me. Everything just clicked in my head, and I just couldn't understand why everybody doesn't invest in real estate. So really from that moment, I just went pedal to the metal on real estate and just dove in and started to learn as much as I could, and did that probably for the better part of a year. And at that point, I was looking to start a little smaller, right? I was looking to do kind of the whole BiggerPockets Burr thing, right? Pick up a couple of rentals and refinance them. And I chose Indianapolis to start as a market, and we picked up a few residential properties. We did some fix and flips and things of that nature. And then the business started to evolve a bit. I just started to realize that aside from return on investment, I wasn't pleased with my return on time for picking up some of those Midwest properties. A lot of those trade between, $100,000 and $200,000, and you might be looking at a fairly modest monthly cash flow. So I felt like my time could be a bit better utilized on something a bit larger. So that's when we segued into commercial real estate and multifamily, and we've been doing that for about 5 years or so.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool that you just listened to the right information and took action on it.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, that is the challenge. I think you hit the nail on the head, right? Is education is always key, of course, but taking action is just as important. And like I said, I was doing a lot of due diligence for the better part of a year, and there was certainly some analysis paralysis in there.
Yeah.
And I think what I learned was as soon as you pick up your first property or your next property, whatever the case may be, you start to build out some processes and systems, and everything just gets a little easier and everything just gets less daunting, right? The whole, wow, who's going to inspect my house? Who's going to manage that house? Once you do it once or twice, you already have the people in place, you have the systems in place, maybe some of the pitfalls to look out for. So it gets easier once you take that first jump, but it is a little hard to make the leap.
Yeah, I hear you. What have been some of the keys that have allowed your business to be able to grow and to run smoothly?
So I mean, there's a few different things we could unpack there. I'd say, for us, we are private equity based, so we do work with quite a bit of investor money, and so one of the things that we like to say, I don't know so much if it differentiates us, but we like the Midwest in that it's steady, it's consistent. We call it, maybe a bit of a boring market. You're not going to see some of the huge swings that you're going to see in some of the more it markets, like your Austin, Scottsdale, places in Florida, and of course those are great markets and people have done really well there. But for us, the Midwest, it's just a bit more predictable. Generally we're going to see 2 to 3% rent growth, and we're not going to see big swings up, but we're also not going to see big swings down. So that makes it a lot easier for us to project returns for investors. And I think investors have appreciated that, and maybe just a bit more margin of safety, I'd say, in some of the projects that we're doing. And that kind of flows into our strategy too, where we're not really doing new developments or anything super risky. We're more, as I mentioned, just doing BEC class value add and mainly trying to purchase things that are already somewhat stabilized, where we could come in and optimize operations, maybe increase occupancy a bit, and decrease expenses, and just add some value there. So we try our best not to buy on pro forma and to just work with what we have in front of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a good strategy that works well for you.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, everybody's different. There's certainly a lot of opportunity in some of the other markets I mentioned, but just for us and our partner base, we try to focus on things that are a bit more steady and consistent. We try to see value where others don't. So one example of that is we started to buy LIHTC properties, which is low income housing tax credit properties. And we kind of stumbled into that a few years ago, where we were presented an opportunity. Didn't immediately understand that it was a LIHTC property when we were underwriting it. And we liked the opportunity quite a bit. And as we dove into it a bit more, we did learn that it was LIHTC, and kind of what we were speaking about earlier. We had no idea what that was, and it was a bit daunting to us, but we found the right people to guide us through that process, the right legal context and whatnot. And we did end up moving forward on that property, which we still own today. And we've since picked up 4 or 5 additional LIHTC properties. And I think for a lot of investors out there, deal flow is obviously very difficult to come by nowadays. And I think some folks might just shy away from projects like that because it's LIHTC and because they're not familiar with the process or it's intimidating. So I think that seeing value maybe where others don't, I think that's also been something that we've been able to be pretty good at and sets us apart just a bit.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds like a really good opportunity for you.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, and like anything else, it's management dependent, right? So
Sure.
we do our best once we hopefully purchase right to manage it the best we can and provide safe and reliable housing for our residents, and usually that results in a stronger bottom line for us as well.
Yeah. So, how are you collaborating with investors on your projects?
Yeah, we do our best to stay in touch with our investor base. So, just as part of our normal business, we'll, of course, be active on social media channels. We'll send a monthly newsletter as well. But existing investors that are part of our projects, we'll update those folks on a monthly or a quarterly basis, depending on the project. We even work with some aspiring investors who are interested in learning more about real estate and maybe interested in doing what we're doing someday. So we've had several folks join the team as investors, mainly because of that reason. And obviously, the return on investment is is part of the analysis as well. But so we'll have them join property management calls occasionally. And we'll provide them with kind of a behind the scenes look and in sort of a mentoring light. So some of our investors who are, as I mentioned, aspiring to maybe purchase multifamily one day, they've appreciated that opportunity.
Yeah. Amazing. Is there a sort of criteria that investors need to have in order to partner with you?
For us, we're longer term minded for sure. And this kind of flows into our business strategy of purchasing in the Midwest and trying to reduce risk as best we can. We're typically not doing short-term projects of 1 to 2 or 3 year turnarounds and looking to reposition an asset that quickly. Whereas I know some other operators are a bit more on that mindset. And of course, if you hit that business plan, your IRR and your return metrics are going to go through the roof. But for us, we're more on a 5 to 10 year hold horizon, which is probably a bit longer than some other groups out there. So that's always the first thing, or one of the first things we tell investors is, this is the hold period, and you just have to be comfortable with holding for that amount of time. If the business plan calls for it. Now, of course, we have sold assets in that 2-year time frame because everything is for sale at the right price. And if somebody is looking to purchase at a price you just can't say no for, well, then then sometimes you have to sell. But that's something we tell investors. And then I would just say know, like, and trust. So I always tell folks when they're thinking about investing with us, you should know, like, and trust us. But us as operators, we want to also know, like, and trust our investors because at the end of the day, we want to be able to sleep at night and we want to know who we're partnering with. So for us, that's important. So we work a lot with repeat investors and referrals from existing investors, and we really value those relationships.
Yeah, definitely. What are you most focused on solving or scaling to next in your business?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, I would say deal flow is something that's been a challenge with the economy recently, and just interest rate fluctuations. There's a lot of folks who maybe want to be sellers but aren't quite sellers yet. So that's been a challenge for us, and we do our best on a daily and a weekly basis to move the ball forward on that with broker relationships and just widening our deal funnel as best we can. And for us, we do our best to stay active despite the economy. So there's some folks who have been sitting on the sidelines at certain points in the past few years, and we've been able to stay fairly active throughout and just kind of keep our channels open. Just let everybody know that we're in the game, we're still in the game. And we haven't, put our pencils down or anything like that. So I'd say that's certainly an opportunity, is just keep plowing ahead regardless of what the economy gives you. And obviously you have to make adjustments based on the economy, whether that's underwriting adjustments or management adjustments based on where things are headed. But staying active, I think, is key.
Yeah, definitely. Where do you kind of see your business heading to? Do you have any goals for, the type of growth that you'd like to have?
Yeah, we'd love to keep scaling. As I mentioned, we're mainly targeting 50 to 150 units nowadays, and we're closing on a 138 unit complex next week, actually. So we're excited about that. And I'd say for us, next steps will probably be going slightly larger, maybe expanding that buy box a bit, and then entering new markets. So we're currently in Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio for the most part. And we've kind of kicked around the idea of expanding into Missouri and some other markets, just as we're getting more comfortable with where we're currently operating, and we feel like we have operations in a really solid spot there, and we're comfortable enough to consider branching out. So I'd say for us, that's probably what's on the horizon.
Yeah, sounds exciting.
Yeah, for sure. We're looking forward to it.
What are some of the challenges that you've experienced as you've grown your business, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I'd probably go back to the economy there. So there's been lots of fluctuations the past few years, and just ensuring that you're insulating the business as best you can through that uncertainty. So, we try to mitigate it as best we can during underwriting and purchasing right, and having conservative assumptions. But, of course, you hear everybody say that, and it really comes down to putting pen to paper and actually doing it. So we like to think we do a pretty good job of that. And, like I said, just trying to stay active despite some of the uncertainty. I think that's a key there. So we do our best to keep the ball moving forward.
Yeah, amazing. What do you feel are some of the strategies that have allowed your business to grow?
Yeah, I'd say, just focusing on working with people we know, like, and trust, as I mentioned earlier. We certainly have, it's the jockey, not the horse type mentality, where, of course, the projects we purchase are important. But for us, it's the people that are actually managing them and operating them that are most important. So that, of course, is us, and it's our property management team. It's our vendor team as well. So those relationships are super important. We wouldn't be able to operate our business without those relationships, and knowing who you could turn to when certain things come up it's super important. So we do our best to keep relationships as strong as possible, and that's something that we're always focused on, and we're always strategizing regardless of where we are at in the business.
Yeah, relationships are everything in the space.
They sure are, yeah. And we touched a bit on referrals earlier, and that's not just with investors, right? That's with brokers even. So
Hmm.
obviously you get more credibility as you close additional projects, and those brokers are going to send you additional deals, and word kind of gets around how you handle your business while you're under contract. Are you a group that retrades a whole bunch? Are you a group that, gives sellers and brokers a lot of heartache during due diligence, or are you an easier to work with buyer, right? And so we're always kind of thinking about the next transaction. So during due diligence, we usually don't retrade, right? And we've only done it in an extreme circumstance on one occasion, right? And so for us, like, always thinking about the future and always thinking kind of one or two moves ahead is something that I think is super important.
Definitely. You mentioned capital raising is one of the main things that you guys work on. Do you have any specific ways that you have found work best for you?
Yeah, for sure. So I think many folks are looking for alternatives to the stock market or bonds nowadays. So it's really just getting in front of those people, and it's becoming known as sort of the real estate guy, right? Like, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, I hadn't even thought about investing in real estate when I was trying to figure out what to do with my funds. And I think there's a lot of people out there who everybody kind of wants to invest in real estate, but nobody really knows where to start. And sometimes it's just not front of mind. So I'd say doing your best to position yourself as, a subject matter expert on real estate such that people reach out to you, I think is a big key. And, you could do that via social media, via email campaigns, just talking about real estate, going to networking events that sometimes aren't even real estate related, right? Just investment type events or community events, BNI groups, things like that, and just talking about real estate and being the real estate guy. I think gives you an edge there, and I think that kind of allows you to become a magnet where people are coming to you, and once people do come to you, I think what is very important is ensuring that you're not pitching anything, right? Because you're not trying to sell anything. I think for us, our mindset is we're providing an opportunity, and the opportunity is an investment. It's an alternative to the stock market, for example. So just having investors understand that, I think, is key.
Yeah, definitely one of the key things. So before we wrap up here, if someone wants to reach out, connect, learn more, where can people find you?
Yeah, please visit our website, nextplayinvestments.com, and all of our contact information is there, and would be happy to connect.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate your time, your story, and your perspective. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And for those listeners that are tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure you've subscribed. We've got more conversations with operators like Michael who are building real businesses. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.